Us. Today, wherever it is you're watching us from around the world, we'll say welcome and thank you for joining us. This is Enterprise Morning, straight to our main conversation for today, where we have it that the federal government has graduated over 7,000 new recruited forest guards from 7 frontline states after completing a 3 month training program under the Presidential Forest Guards Initiative. The graduation ceremonies were held on December 27 to 2025 in Borno, Sokoto, Yobe, Adamawa, Niger, Kwara and Kebbi states. Kenny, yeah.
Very true. The initiative, launched in May 2025 by President Bola Tinubu, aims to boost internal security by preventing terrorists, bandits and kidnappers from using forest areas as hideouts. In a statement issued by the Office of the National Security Advisor, the training focused on physical fitness, patrol operations, tactical movement, ethics, legality and human rights. Arms handling and use of force procedures were conducted in line with an approved arms management manual.
All right, so let's get talking. We still have Barrister Van Sofeli, who joins us from Toronto in Canada. Thank you so very much, Barrister, for hanging on.
Very well.
All right, so let's talk the forest guards. We want to believe this should be a support system for the state police, which the president said is still passing through our legislators and to see how that would work. But do you think forest guards would end this rampage by bandits who are even more sophisticated than our military force and security architecture we have in Nigeria? What's your take?
Well, I believe they can play a role. Our forests are ungoverned. They are largely ungoverned space. That's why the insurgents, kidnappers, take occupants of it without any restriction. We're not supposed to leave our forests unguarded that way, because if we've had this a long time ago, and if there have been they should be able to put forth resistance. They should be able to put forth resistance. But because they are not, we don't have it, there are people who have not been put. We used to have the forest guard. It's been there a long time ago, you understand? But it didn't get the support and the boost it needed to get. It's been there even before the civil defense, okay? But thank God now that they're having attention. The federal government now is putting and investing there. But my fear is that these persons must be trained properly. They must be trained properly. Because if you take people who are hardly making ends meet as forest guard, many of them are going to compromise. But one of the biggest problems we face is that we take people and put them in assignment and not pay them adequately. Yes. Then the next thing, they will not take the paraphernalia of office, either gun or whatsoever, or authority uniform, to then intimidate villagers and maybe stop them and the rest of that. So they should be properly warned that this is not police force, this is forest guard. And their assignment is to secure the forest, not to extort money from villagers. Because some of them may go there now and start the same thing bandits are doing. So as much as you have them, they should have proper monitoring of these people, police them properly, train them well. I don't know how they're going to train all these people now. They say they train them now. In 3 months, they finish training them just now. And then they're handing over forest to them, and they're going to give them firearm, because I know that they're going to give them firearm. And their duty is to gather intelligence. But firearm they're giving them is for self-defense and eventuality. Okay? But they should be able to do the job with patriotism. It's not enough to graduate them. These persons you have graduated, have they passed integrity tests? It takes integrity to carry out assignments in the forest. And these are forests that have no CCTV camera, nothing. So the transaction that be going on there, you have to put people that have integrity to carry out transactions inside forest, because forest is jungle. So many things will be happening there.
You know, so sorry for interjecting here. I do not know the modality of their recruitment and how they would be redeployed to different forests around the country. Let's take example of the southeast and the south of Nigeria. These regions have strong apathy. They do not support some of the things that the federal government is doing. Every single person in the southeast, for example, would love to protect their own forest themselves. When they see a stranger in their forest, that would on its own build another fracas or issue that we do not know where the end would look like. Do you think the federal government might possibly deploy people from regions to the forest known to their region, or maybe take someone from Sokoto and deploy him to somewhere in Kwale, which the Kwale people might not be happy for?
No, that's not what they are doing. The recruitment is in the area. I have two people who is in the. I have two. What would I call them? My town people who are in it. You understand? They are supposed to guard their own forests within their locality. So that police or the army posting to some, posting, no, recruiting to manage the forest within their locality. That's what they are doing. It's not anything of the nature of the army or the police, okay? Because they are part of the environmental protection unit of the government, okay? They are meant to protect the environment, almost like what the civil defense will do. So, but this one is actually more of indigenous people guarding their own forests. That's what it is. So, with that, you should have, naturally, people should be patriotic in their own, ordinarily, they
the communication with the barrister, because this concern, lots of people have had issues with it. That imagine just walking into your own forest and you see someone from somewhere is speaking another language, and you're wondering, who is this person, a friend or an enemy at this point? But it's important that barrister had cleared this. You know, that people within regions will be sent to areas that they understand better.
Yeah, even when I was going through the story, right, I read a particular part when these forest guards will be dispatched, or they will be assigned to concerned states like Sokoto state, like Kebbi states. We have other states. Most of these terrorists has really, invaded, and also they are going to be dispatched, or they will be sent there to guard that forest over there. Kebbi, which other state? I think Niger state.
Okay, Niger, yeah.
Yes, Niger state, and I saw there's I think 2 more states. Yes, when I saw it, I was like, okay, I think this is really a good fit. But okay, Barrister has joined us.
Yes, Barrister, thank you so very much for being back after that little communication bridge. Yeah. So you were speaking to the issue of redeployment of people to different areas.
So ordinarily, when people are guarding their own their own community, they tend to be much more patriotic, much more serious on the duty, as compared to if you are sending them to go and guard elsewhere, guard somewhere else. Because if you are guarding your own locality, your own forest, neighboring forest, and the rest of that, you have to be sure that what you are doing is to put in your best, so that you are not also invaded yourself. Because if they allow criminals to move indiscriminately, it's going to affect them personally. So because that tends to affect them personally, they tend to put their all in it. So that's what I'm saying.
I feel that, coming up with an initiative like this is beautiful. And another thing is making this initiative a time or something that would not just be a short-term thing. At least it will have like a
shelf life, yeah.
So Barrister, do you think this issue that we are speaking about, do you think it's going to be a short-term solution, or it's just going to be or it's going to be a long-term solution?
It's not a short-term solution. It's a long-term. Forests should not be left unguarded. In some countries, it's a department of the police, okay, that does this job. A department of the police, okay. So it shouldn't be a one-off arrangement. It's going to be an enduring arrangement as long as you have insecurity. Because you cannot eradicate crime. You can only repress crime, okay. And they are going to be very useful as it relates to kidnapping. Yes, they will be useful as it relates to kidnapping, because the kidnappers usually use the forest as refuge and as shield when they ask for ransom. You understand? They use the forest. They don't come on the broad daylight on the expressway to, they use the forest. So because they use the forest, that's even why you even need the forest guard more than even the insurgents itself. Because of kidnapping, you need the forest guards more. So they'll be able to provide direct intelligence to police. Their assignment is not to go and arrest kidnappers or to go and fight them or gun them down. Their assignment is to provide intelligence for the police force, for the mobile police force that are trained to combat, crime in the manner of speaking. So all I want to say is that their objectives should be defined properly to them. That's what I'm saying, because Nigerians have a tendency to overlap. These people may go to the forest now and start to act as if their assignment is to catch the thief and bring or kill, or they may start to believe that the forests of Nigeria have been ceded to them for this. That's not their assignment. That's not their assignment, because the training they are giving them is restricted to intelligence gathering and information management. That's what they're giving them. So they should know when to make the right call for the appropriate authority to take over operations, actual operations, and not. That's why you need to get. They should get. I hope these people are educated up to secondary school or OND. It's very important. If you go and recruit hunters and all those kind of things, you are going to have serious problem. If farmers and hunters are have to be out of it, let them face their farming and their hunting. Get people that have at least OND or secondary school that have the cognitive to understand basics of intelligence gathering and how they should go about it and how they should operate generally. That way, we'll be doing a good service to the country. So, and they will help the police force to manage our forests effectively, and we'll get results from that.
Take a look at the proliferation of security agencies and so on and so forth in Nigeria. Let's look at the remote cause of why these people are even created. Socio-economic matters are one amongst the many reasons why there's so much insecurity. There's hunger in the land. People are beginning to look for alternatives to survive, which had made kidnapping very, good for some of them. Do you think that there won't be moles amongst the people that have been recruited, where some people might start maybe sewing their clothes and posing as forest guards to still commit the same crime that the forest guards are supposed to avert? How do you think in such matters this particular agency can ameliorate that?
Yeah, it's for the forest guard to also know that people might impersonate them. It is their responsibility to also investigate and know that people might impersonate them. And so they should be able to ward off that. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because every creation, every institution is a mental construct. Okay? And when these institutions, when they come into operations, you have one or two bad eggs among them that are mistakenly recruited. Okay? Then you also have those who want to impersonate them to take advantage of the poor. There's a lot of crime in our forests, a lot of crime in remote areas. Okay? So the fact that you are recruiting forest guard doesn't mean that you are going to extinguish crime completely at the remote areas or at the rural areas. What you are doing is you are trying to create an eye, okay, an element, okay, and use them to police or manage the forest so that even the kidnappers who are going to be using the forest, you understand, we know that there are people who are managing the forest and who they may have to combat with, apart from just about you who they may have to deal with. You understand? So that's why you need people of integrity, because some of them might also compromise with the kidnappers and work with the kidnappers to do damage, collect ransom, and share. Don't rule out that likelihood or that possibility. Yes, people are that criminally minded, okay? But the good thing about it is that it cannot be all of them that may want to do that. So that's why there should be a strong disciplinary measure put in place. Anyone caught, okay, compromising or being in dereliction of his duty or her duty, are they women? I don't know that there are women in the forest guard. Let me not say what I don't know. Let me use he. The person should be dealt with properly. And the penalty should be spelled out. That the same penalty that a kidnapper will get is what a conspirator will get. Much so, one that is employed by government to take care of the issue. When he joins hands with a kidnapper to do evil to society, the same punishment will be, another. When you have legislation and they give them the handbook, take them through the penalties, train them proper. These 3 months, now they have graduated. I have a very serious reservation for that thing. You understand? I don't know when they put them in proper class. And I don't know when they were put in proper classroom to teach them something important. And I don't know the level of their education. So these things are very, very important if you want to get it right. They must have the right cognitive. They must not be people who are beclouded by deep, incurable, incalculable poverty. They will do damage to mess up the whole thing. So let's have people who can handle this thing and let them do the job.
All right, but let's take a look at, because you talked about people with lots of cognitive things to help them reason and make decisions. But let's take a look at conflict management at this point. How do you think issues like this can be solved? The perennial issues like the farmers-herders clashes. Let's take Benue as example. We've had issues of farmer-herders clashes over the years, for decades now. It's still brewing as we speak, and lots of crime still get committed. In such a situation, how do you think a forest guard would act when he watches herders coming with their crowd of cows and all, and invading into the farms of people who have cultivated it over some time? Do you think such issues can be solved or resolved?
Yes, it can be. The duty of the forest guard is to restrain them from doing that and call the police, call the appropriate authority. Yes, the duty of the forest guard is to restrain them from destroying people's farm, or destroying the forest, or using the forest for criminal activities, and then call the appropriate security units, collect intelligence, and call the appropriate security unit to undertake the operations. That's what it is. They are guards. They are guards. What is the duty of a guard? Is to prevent criminals or prevent criminal activity. You understand? The duty of a guard is not to go and fight war. A guard, just like a security guard, okay, is to prevent the destruction of life and properties. But these security guards, they say they don't have their own prison. They don't have their own, so they hand over to police. That's what I mean. Okay. So they should be able to get the police to take over operation, okay, prosecution, all those issues of penalty courts, charging to court and the rest of that. That's not in their line of duty. Okay.
All right, and I think we just have to leave it at this point. And lots of people have asked, would we really see solutions to some of these things if those in authority do not come on board? There used to be a time when someone is fingered to be a kidnapper, the state governor would go and bulldoze the house where the kidnappers were being kept, or any property that's used for kidnapping. Yeah. These days we don't see it any longer. And little wonder you see kidnappers all over the place and taking advantage of the porousness in our society.
And you might be thinking maybe they've been bought, right?
Yeah.
They've been bought, they've been given money to do what they are doing. Well, like, we just hope this initiative that the government has really taken, we just hope we just hope this whole thing will just die down. And like Barrister said, when I asked him if it's going to be like a short-term security response or a long-term, yeah, he said a long term. So let's just hope it's going to be a long term, so we don't have any issues at the end of the day concerning terrorism or concerning insecurity.
And hopefully this might maybe mellow down the anger of President Donald Trump.
Right.
To stop.
But then again, Nigerians are still
expecting Donald Trump.
They're still expecting. You know, in fact, when I saw the airstrikes and when I saw the comment, I was like, Nigerians, are you really? Please, someone commented that Nigerians will always backslide Nigerians. No wonder in the Bible they start quoting Bible. I really don't want to go into that.
All right, so
just hope everything turns out well at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so very much, Barrister. We truly do appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
Beautiful. Right. So that's just about the time we have for today. We'd love to say thank you for making this a date. Please do well to follow us. You can read up on everything we have talked about when you visit us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally rewatch this if you've had no opportunity of streaming it. Download, send to your friends and your folks, so we all can, of course, be part of the conversation. That is when you visit us at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Ikwebike.
And I am Kendi Boduri.
Have yourself a splendid day. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. And we'll see you on another episode.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.